Okay, hello everyone. Welcome on today's lesson. My name is Lukas, and it has been a while since I had the last NGD lesson, so it's good to be back here with all of you, and I hope you will enjoy this. I'm already getting some comments. Did you have already seen this game, Godave? So you know what is gonna come, but I always adapt something new, so you don't have to worry. But anyway, other games might be different. Let's see. Anyway, so today's topic, which I prepared, is how to adjust your play according to the score, which, in my opinion, is often somehow underestimated by a lot of players. In my opinion, it's actually very important how to behave like in each specific situation according to the actual status of the game. So actually I will try to present how I'm doing that during my games. Of course, what I will present here is not like an ultimate truth or anything like that, but I hope I can at least give you some brief ideas how to do this. So actually, I will show three of the example games. All of them are mine games because those are, let's say, the most easy for me to, let's say, to rely on. Also, I remember what I was feeling during the game, so I can still present my ideas easier here. By the way, just want to make sure, I hope my voice is loud enough. I hope the stream is going well because it's not always like that with my computer and my internet. So I hope everything is fine. If you give me some feedback, I have opened the chat section here on my tablet. So when I am looking down, then I'm looking into my tablet if you are not leaving some nice comments. So just something at the beginning. So I guess we can start. I will slowly click through the game until the situation which I wanted to comment on, and which we will practice on the score counting and the actual behavior. And the first game which I choose and I'm actually choosing relatively often for this kind of topic, and that's actually a game which I played in PandaNet Team Championship like 2 months ago. It's already has been, and I was white in this game, and my opponent was Pál Balog, the Hungarian champion. So also a 7-dan player. So I will slowly browse through the game until the situation which I wanted to comment on. So we are both playing our strategy which are, let's say, natural to us, because Pal is known to be, let's say, a Moyo player, the one who likes to play on the fourth line in the Fuseki. On the other hand, I guess all of you who know me from, I don't know, Nordic Dojo or from somewhere else, like I'm a territory lover. So so that's how the late game is looking like at the start. I'm taking the points. Blake is taking more like an influence, and also a bit more ambitious Moyo on the right side. But then Black invades Sansan, which was maybe it would be a bit unexpected from this kind of player, but it perfectly makes sense because none of the approaches on the start point are interesting. So Black invades the Sansan, but then Black chooses a slightly odd variation. I'm not saying this variation doesn't exist, but I'm not sure if it fits absolutely perfectly into this game. But anyway, let's proceed a bit more. Black pushed once again, then invaded here. White kicks. And this is actually a situation where it's necessary to make a positional judgment for both sides. And actually, both, if I remember correctly, we were both actually thinking long about the next moves. But I'm pretty sure, same as me, my opponent was also doing some kind of score counting. So actually, first. How come everybody is familiar with it? Well, I actually also presented this game in some other video already, but I thought not so many people have seen it, so it seems like some people did. And also when Mikko and Chef reviewed it, that I didn't know. Also, that I didn't know. Then, if I would have known that that it was reviewed on Go with Jeff, I would choose a different game. But let's hope I will show it from a bit different perspective. Anyway, I definitely prepared some new ideas when I was reviewing this game for myself yesterday again. Godave even reviewed it on his own Goban. Aha, I see. Got it. Wow. Very eager student. Anyway, we like these kind of ones. Okay, so we should blame Jeff for everything, as usual, right? I'm not sure if Jeff is watching, most likely not. But anyway, let's blame him as usual. Anyway, so Um, so what both sides are doing at the moment? Because, for example, let's start counting. Let's start counting with black. So actually, there is actually a very important question to ask: how many points does black have actually on the right side? Because it will probably not so hard. It will be probably not so hard to draw the borders. So we can actually try to draw a bit. So most likely it will be somewhere around here. I'm doing a rough border. Of course, since I'm not a world-class player, I will not be, let's say, every single point precise. But let's draw the border like this, and then I will draw the border this way, and I will explain you why did I make it why did I make it this way. First of all, there is actually one area which is still not yet 100% decided, and that's this lower right corner, right? Because, for example, if black gets to play there first, and black can actually do it because it's black's turn at the moment, then black plays here, and the corner becomes suddenly much bigger, right? So this can definitely happen. On the other hand, we still need to realize that actually, even though I draw the border like that all of the right belongs to black, it's actually still not 100% true, because I can imagine very easily that white will invade there or there, and most likely black will not be able to kill the invasion. But it's all, on the other hand, very likely black will get some kind of compensation. But I wouldn't say that the right side is already 100% blacks. So it still feels like that black owes a move here. On the other hand, if black plays here, it's very likely white will invade this corner. And actually now all of the black's corner is gone. And on the other hand, white built some points there, and also white has some endgame continuation at S4. Right, so it completely changes the border compared to what I drew. So that's actually why did I why did I draw the line like this. But still, we need to not forget that black still owes a move somewhere on the right side. But I'm pretty sure if black plays here, then most likely white cannot invade so easily on the other side. Most likely this stone would be already killable. But anyway, black definitely still owes a move. Anyway, let's come back to our situation. So we draw the line here for black on the right side. Then most likely this area is not decided yet, and it's not really clear who will actually get there first. So let's not draw anything there yet. So what does black have on the left side? It's actually not so easy to judge. However, black has definitely something here. Like black captured a stone there, and there is a point. So we will count 2 points there for black. And Victor, why are you laughing? Or what? Anyway, black has a very solid border here because black built some thickness here, and then now actually it's not that clear how to judge the situation in this area. But most likely we should draw a border somewhere between this stone and this stone. So let's make it somehow. So like this. This is probably kind of possible, right? Something like that. So okay, so let's count how much does black have if we imagine that black actually adds a move somewhere around Q9, which black can do because now it's black's turn. So here we have 3 times 16, right? 1 point here, some points extra here, so we have something like 53 here for black, if I'm counting correctly. Yes, it should be something like that. Then we have probably like 10 points here for black, and then we have those 2 points here, which I have already mentioned. So it's actually very likely now that black's territory consists of 65 points, roughly. Yeah, so it's likely say about 65 points. So now we counted black. So now let's count for white. So first of all, we will probably solve the bottom side because that's white's biggest territory. So this border is relatively clear. Most likely we can count with this kind of border, and let's draw the border this way, which is kind of expected white will get. Of course, there is still an invasion point at M3, which can happen because there is a 3 space distance. But if we imagine that black most likely owes a move here on the right side, then and we counted his territory there, then I guess we can do kind of the same at the bottom side. However, we'll still need to check what is going on with the end game in the bottom left corner. If black plays here. So if white plays there, then of course the corner becomes very big. But what if black plays there? Because if black connects and then black plays this Hane, then white can very unlikely block here because this ko is simply too dangerous, right? It's of course possible that white will not answer, that white will just play somewhere else, and even actually next black's move will not finish in center. It will finish like this. But anyway, it's a very big continuation. So as a compromise, we might most likely count that white will block this way. So the corner immediately becomes much smaller, right? So we can basically count the border like this. So we drew a border at the bottom. And so let's switch to the other territories of white. So actually here I would draw the line this way. So this is very likely what white is able to get at the top. But here I will draw the line this way because black can always get these moves in center, right? Well, in fact, actually, black might also try to make the white smaller here, but it's actually not that clear if white will really answer this way. So this move might be actually slightly careless. Yeah, I mean, white might actually try to resist here, so that's why I drew the border on the L line. And on the other hand, if black plays here, and then still white can get very nice endgame, a nice endgame this way. So that's why I can imagine that 7 points will be there for white. So now actually very questionable is even the top right corner, because I probably wouldn't draw the border this way. Because if white gets there first, then it's very likely white will get all of the corner and close to 20 points there. However, if black will get there first, black will not only play here, but black is actually able to jump so far like this one. So b18 is actually the correct endgame for black, and white most likely needs to defend this way. Moreover, there are some continuations like a18, so it's actually possible that black will even get some points there himself. But so I feel like if we again make some kind of compromise between this, I guess the border will be somewhere around here. And it's not that easy. It's not that easy to judge, but most likely it will be something like this. So let's count white's territory. So we have 8 points here, 12 points here, so it's 20, another 5, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 36, 40. So we have approximately 40 points here. 40 points here for white. Right? And then we still need to finish this border. Most likely this will be black's, I guess. Like it's more likely that black will get C12, but hard to say. Anyway, white has probably like 12 points here, as some points at the bottom. So most likely white can get easily up to 60 points on the board. 60 points on the board, and white has 6.5 komi, so that's 66.5, and we concluded something like 65 for black, right? So with this kind of rough counting, we can probably reach the conclusion that black is losing by a bit. And also, as I said, black still owes a move here, and if black plays here, white is able to jump into the corner or jump up here. So it's actually white's narrow lead is very likely. On the other hand, it's still as I said, it's a very narrow lead, so there is no reason to get like so crazy as black at the moment. However, like only by building territory this way, it doesn't seem like that the right side will be enough for black. So that's probably how black felt in this game, and that's why actually black decided to invade here. Like it's not any kind of like crazy invasion or anything, but it's an invasion which is provoking some kind of complication. So it's saying that black is probably not feeling great at the moment. If black plays here and makes the corner bigger, it actually makes the agi at m3 much more severe. But actually, if white invades somewhere on the right side, black will have to prove a lot by this attacking and get some kind of big compensation. So this move is definitely reasonable. I might be able to play it as black, but anyway, I can definitely understand black's attitude with this invasion. But anyway, it's still relatively a close game, just black is probably not feeling comfortable at this moment. Well, we might also ask a question, where did the small lead of white came from? Because it felt like the very early beginning of the game looked very perfect from both sides. It most likely is from this bottom left corner, because I said black actually had a very strange choice of Joseki there, right? That black decided to take outside Ponuki on the left side, which was not really interesting at all, and on the other hand, white took a corner which white really wanted, and still managed to build all the bottom. So actually, when black invaded the Sansan, probably black should have done everything possible to take the corner. But anyway, it was not a let's say like on this kind of level, it's probably kind of a big mistake from black. But still, it doesn't change the fact that black is probably losing by maximum 1 or 2 points. But anyway, black is not feeling comfortable, so we can look a bit forward. What happened next? So black decided to invade here. White jumps up and black kicks. Black jumps up. I'm not actually 100% convinced about this exchange, because black is of course trying to make the corner more safe, but on the other hand it gave white a possibility to connect under this way, and it still didn't change the fact that r3 is still open. So I'm not really convinced about that, but anyway, white jumps. Black plays here, so black is trying to confirm the right side, but at the same time he's leaving two very weak stones at the bottom side. And on the other hand, if black would jump here, then actually, or jump out, then actually white would have an opportunity to destroy black's right side. So actually white lost some points here at the bottom, but black will actually lose even more on the right side. So actually white can get very nice compensation there. So it still doesn't seem like that the invasion actually helps black to make the game even or even reverse it, because black actually confirmed all of the right side. It really seems like it will become black's territory, but the corner is still open, as I said, and actually black's group at the bottom became very weak. So actually black pushed, white played like this, black jumps out, and the white plays like this, takes back the points which actually used to belong to white before already. Then black made this exchange which I didn't understand, and then black actually decided to connect these structures in the center. That of course improves black's potential in the center a bit as well. But actually, white can of course just come back this way, so white will manage to keep all of the territory at the bottom. But it's true that actually black's potential in the center improved a bit. But white actually got the opportunity to cut off black this way, so we can actually see that black's invasion kind of backfired. So if black actually tries to connect this way, it's not working, because white can cut off black like this from the top. And like black can probably still try this kind of move, so probably black can actually cut through this way, but it will be definitely for some kind of payment. So most likely it will end up somehow like this, and that's definitely not very acceptable for black to save the snake that way. So actually it seems like the invasion backfired. And what is like the conclusion about this situation? uh, uh, what we have, I mean, from our score area counting, like we reached the conclusion that black was probably slightly behind. However, the difference is still so small that black probably still keep being patient. Like it's probably too early for this kind of invasion, because we have seen that 20 moves later it totally backfired. So if black also move here, then probably black most likely cannot win only like this. But black can definitely, for example, block the corner, as I have already said, which might actually make the invasion at m3 more severe, and try to invite white inside. It's not easy to punish this invasion, but and as I said, black has a lot to prove in this attacking. However, this is definitely a chance for black. Like any kind of target is of the opponent is always a chance for the one who is slightly losing. So that's why I feel what black should have done. Actually, I didn't check this with AI, for example, so maybe some of you know better than me already. But anyway, I felt like if I would be black, I most likely block the corner this way. Like we can of course think about it. Maybe black can close the right side in a larger scale, but I'm not really sure if actually black is able to kill everything after this move. So like this move, this one space jump is much more solid. So this would be probably a move which I would most likely do at this point as black, and I would definitely still keep being patient for a bit more, because I mean, also it was surprising from Pal, because like Pal is also very famous for to be a strong end gamer, but I guess everyone who used to be an insane in Japan is a strong end gamer. Or a professional in Japan, right, Auntie? If you are still watching. Okay, so I guess that's it. That's it about this game. So I don't see any more questions in the chat section. So if you want to ask about something about this game, you have a last chance. Otherwise, we will switch to another game. So Victor seems like posting faces of European pros. That's a provocation or what? No question. Yeah, you're welcome. Okay, so let's switch provocation. I see. Got it. Anyway, so let's switch to a next game. And yeah, just let me change something in the stream, because I need to change the names. Game name. Um, So you are just having fun, Victor. I see. Okay, no problem with that. Anyway, so I just changed the name of the protagonists of the next game. Actually, the next game I'm black in that one, and my opponent was Jan Shimara, and the game was played very recently. It was 6 days ago. It was last Sunday on the tournament in the city of Pardubice, known as Mojo Open, and it was played last weekend live, of course. So, and that game was definitely not one of my best ones, but I chose it before because I think it's again a very nice example where I can present some understanding about the situation. So actually, Probably most of you know Jan Shimara, even though he doesn't appear on Europe, on let's say on European tournaments so often. He still plays often. He still plays often in Czechia, and he of course is very famous because he won the European Championship in 2012, which is probably one of the biggest miracles on European golf scene. So anyway, he's probably not as strong as he used to be, like back at that time, but still he's a very solid six dan player. So I need to definitely put a lot of effort to beat him. So, so as I said, I was black in this game. I will again click through the game until we reach the situation. So there was some very odd fight at the beginning, which was not so great for me. Then maybe white lost a bit in this corner a bit, but anyway, then I got this move. And then white invaded here very soon, which actually kind of surprised me, but I decided not to start the core right away, so I played here because I didn't have so many core threats. Then white played this move, which was a very big one. I didn't just want to leave painfully, so I wanted to resist, but white resisted as well. So I resist back. So in the end, actually, white was able to live in a small scale at the bottom. Fortunately for me, this is my center, because then I can cut at K3, and so white comes back, and I live as well. So both sides live in this situation. And white plays here, and then plays this move and actually this was a very good move, the last one from white, because white is reducing black's potential in the top right, and also white is somehow trying to capture these two stones in a large scale. Well, to judge this situation is not that easy at the moment, so but we can try. So at the moment, it's probably because since it was relatively a fighting game, it's not that easy to draw the lines or something. But we can approximately judge how many points each side has in some kind of area. So actually, black captured some two stones here, right? Like so more, and it's actually very likely that the border will be something like this. Right, and then some end game. So 15, 20, 25 points actually here. It's very likely. Hard to say what is happening in the corner, because it's not so easy to find the timing for this core fight. But anyway, 25 points, and on the right side is very likely for black. Then if black is optimistic, black can probably count all of this territory for himself. So again, most likely again 20 points there is very likely, but we shouldn't forget there is still some kind of invasion point in this area. But anyway, 20 points is very likely. And in the bottom side group, black has like 7, it seems like. And there will be also something at the top side. So probably something like this. Right, so we have 20, 25 is 45, 7, and 8. So maybe in total black has around 60, roughly, I guess. And then how much does white have? So this one we usually count like this as a compromise. Then this way and like this. Actually, this shape is actually good to remember. Like if you would for example, check the book, what's that name of the book? Score evaluation or positional judgment or something like that. If I don't remember who wrote that. But anyway, it's the classic Japanese book which was translated to English by Rob Van Seist and Richard Bozulich. So, and I mean, it was Chochikon. Thanks for telling me. Yeah, and and if I remember correctly, he's judging this corner. I mean, exactly this shape as 7 points at the moment. Of course, it will be likely bigger, but white still needs to add up some stones there. Yeah, Speed Judgment. Yeah, that was the name probably. Yeah, yeah. It's a long time ago since I read the book, but I'm sure I read it at some point. No, no, no. I mean, it's definitely good for any done player, and I guess for single-digit per Q players also fine. Definitely not on 8 done plus. You mean like the number of points in the top left? Sorry for misunderstanding. I see the 8D anyway. Yeah, never mind. Yeah, I mean, if you count it as 8, it doesn't. I mean, it's not that big problem, I guess. 7 or 8, not that big difference. Anyway, let's count 7. So, yeah, and I need to change it to triangles because we are counting white with triangles. So then we have 5 here, right? That's very clear to count. 5. So we on total we have 12. Then how about this endgame? It will be most likely like this, right? Yeah, and now actually this is very tricky how to count. Like, can black run out with the 2 stones marked in the center? I mean, or if black will push just at e7, I don't know. I mean, it's very likely that most likely the border will be somewhere around here. Like the 2 stones will not most likely not manage to run, but on the other hand, it's very likely black will manage to reduce from the from the outside. So what is the number of points we get here? So this is 20, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32, 33, 34, 35, 39, and then we have like 7 here. So we have 46, 5 here, that's 51. And since this is a kind of fighting game, not that clear territories like before, we should also count the potential. Like if at the moment we get that maybe like on a sure territory, black should be slightly ahead at this point. But I still mentioned that black kind of owes a move here at c12. And on the other hand, we shouldn't forget there is this invasion in the corner. Of course, black can start the core, but for black the core is relatively risky. And if white lives there, white will add up some more points. And we also shouldn't forget that white's potential here, thanks to the last move, is way bigger than black's potential in this area. Well, so when the territory is clear, I'm trying to make a compromise, right? That's actually what I tried in the top left corner, for example. Because if black pushes here, this might be relatively fair, right? On the other hand, if white gets there first, then when white will play here and black will come back this way, right? So that's actually where I drew the border, and also that's where I drew the border for white if black gets there first. Right, so I'm trying to make a compromise. Actually, c12 invasion is possible, but on the other hand, if white invades there, the top left corner will also get weaker thanks to that. So I'm not really sure if white is actually even interested to invade at c12. And then also there was one more endgame place. I was counting this one. If white gets there first, it will be like this, let's say. And on the other hand, if white gets there first, it will be like this. Right? So I'm trying to count a compromise variation. Like it's actually good to have like if you have a lot of time in the game and you really want to count precisely, you can also do, let's say, like count one pessimistic variation and also count one optimistic variation. And normally what's somewhere between is the objective view about the situation. But normally if you are losing, it's good to count optimistically. Because you are able to imagine how much do you really need to build to make the game even. On the other hand, if you are winning, then counting pessimistically, then it's also it should be the more appropriate way. Yeah, well, yeah. I mean, if the game is full of mistakes and like the situation is unclear, then of course counting doesn't mean that much. I mean, of course, once you get a clear lead or you are clearly losing, you are probably able to see it. But yeah, I mean, then precise counting it doesn't mean that much yet. Yes, exactly. In the top left corner, I counted what actually both sides already have, most likely, and yeah, that's how I drew the borders. Yes, so that's what I did. So at the moment, so here we reach a conclusion that black is most likely leading on a sure points, but white has still a possibility to live in the top right corner to get some more points. And starting the core at T16 is not easy, and white has much more potential than black. So most likely white is slightly leading at this moment. So I felt bad at this moment, so I decided to start this core. But anyway, starting this core was not a great timing at all. This timing was not a great timing at all, because most likely black doesn't have any big enough core threat. So white chose the core threat here, I pushed through here, took the core, white played here, and this one, and then I played this core threat, which I actually naively thought in the game is 100% center, but in fact it's not. Also actually, not only it's a bad core threat, but I don't have any bigger. But also the problem is that the value of S14 is super huge, because then they basically all of the 25 points, or let's say at least 20 of them, disappear from the right side, and white is 100% alive in the corner. And this actually deletes a lot of potential, and it also makes white group slightly weak, but it's still not that big, because white is still able to connect this way, for example. So this is another mistake I made in this situation. I should actually play the core threat from this way. Because if I play the corner from this side, I'm able to take the two stones from this side, and white doesn't have this peep anymore. So now white's potential in the center might totally disappear, and this would be most likely an acceptable result. But if white has a possibility still to recover here locally from this loss, then actually it's definitely not good at all. So let's continue a bit more. So the game continues, like of course if black is losing just by a bit, again like in the previous game, but I didn't really feel well in this game. So I'm trying to play ambitious moves like this one. Again, I'm not doing anything crazy, but I'm trying to push on the opponent. Hey newcomers. Anyway, so white played here, and then white plays this schema, and this is actually another important moment in this game. First of all, most likely the first move which black should think about is not this one, but this one, like to reinforce the shape. But anyway, I played this one, which is already a mistake. But anyway, good Dave, I will just tell you soon. Yeah, so at this moment, actually, a very important decision comes for black. So how far do I feel behind as black? Well, we can count again. We can make another counting. So actually here for black, we can only count this one at the moment. So like this. Then black can get H18 anytime in cente. So I guess we are able to count it this way. This should be always blacks, I mean whites endgame. And now actually the question which we are asking in this corner is that, does black have to resist and block at P15, or black can just extend and give up the light stone? Because if black extends here, then it's actually very likely that black will most likely will be able to build a territory like this. And so besides that, we have some points at the bottom, and we captured two stones. We captured two stones on the right side. So how much we have at the bottom? 6, like 10. Let's say so we have like 10 points there. Then we have like 2 points. Maybe 4 points on the right side. Let's say so we have 14. Then we have like another. We have like 21 points. Is it 21? No, it's 23 at the top. So we are like 37, and we have like 16 on the left. So we reach like 53 points for black. On the other, and also black has 3 more prisoners. So black has like 56. So white basically needs like 50 points to make the game even at the moment. So if we play this variation with the extensions at O15 and O14, it's very likely white can again make the very easy border here. So it's like this. Then we can make, let's say 10 there, because this is actually very hard to count. I'm not really sure if black would go at h18 or g18. That I'm not really 100% sure. So this we have already counted. And the border is most likely around here, like this, and here, there, and there. So in the top right corner we have 7, 8, 9, 10, 18, 10 in the top left, 28, so 5 here, 33, 17, 50, 53, 58, 59. So actually white has more points than black on the board. If we play like this, of course, black has much more potential in this area. But since we have reached the conclusion that including Komi, white is probably ahead by 10, I'm not really sure if black can get more than 10 than the opponent in this area. Because of course white has also some potential, much less than black, but I didn't really feel confident if I just keep extending like this. Also in Gote, because now it's white's turn, of course. So white most likely plays something like this. No, I didn't feel it's possible to win like this. And as far as I mean, I'm known to be a strong end gamer, but definitely not something to rely on at this moment. So I decided to block here, and there will be another moment where actually white totally misjudged, because there is actually only one hope I have in this game at the moment. I have 20 minutes left until the end, and my opponent is already in the last period of Byomi, which actually can often change the flow of the game dramatically, right? So since white probably didn't have time for precise positional judgment, he didn't realize he actually doesn't even have to cut here. Even though the cut seems like a very severe move, white doesn't really have to do it. White doesn't really have to do it. So actually, if white can just keep his mind clear, white can just play here, force black to connect on dame here basically, and then just reinforce a shape here. Not only all of the black's potential in the center is gone, but actually there is even white's potential at the moment, and also white connects all of his stones together. Yeah, time management. They are actually right. It's something I definitely improved at recently. Yeah, so actually at this moment, I'm pretty sure if white has much more time on the clock, he's able to judge the situation very clearly like this. And if this happens, I don't really want to know how to continue. Like, as I said, I'm able to get a lot of points in the end game. I would probably try to get a lot of points like this from the opponent, for example. Try to make this influence, but white will just play a random stone in the center, and I don't really know how can I win this game. Yes, having time is always good. Of course, in Byomi, in 30 seconds per period, it becomes much harder. But it's possible to, let's say, count one color very precisely in 30 seconds Byomi if you are fast. Anyway, this game is almost unwinnable at this moment if just something like this happens. Anyway, white entered this, which actually it's actually good that white saw this move, which actually kills the group on the right side. So seeing the move at S8 in 30 seconds, that's not easy, definitely. However, white actually entered this hell, and white has two weak groups. And in the end, since white was in the last period, white collapsed and died. So yeah, so actually, yeah, I mean, even though there was most likely a way how to solve this, the most important is that white should have never ever entered this kind of complication. This is just very clear how white can just win the game, and I don't believe I have winning chances at the moment. Yeah, so as I said, this was not definitely one of the best games of mine, but it was also lesson for me somehow, that I was actually, even already at this moment, I was just thinking, yeah, I mean, if the opponent just plays like this, I mean, this is very easy way how to finish the game, just like that. Yeah, so just in this kind of situation, when you are comfortably ahead, which white is definitely leading by 10 points or something at this moment, just don't make any kind of drama. Any kind of simple moves, which don't even have to be the strongest ones, but once they are building points, then it's actually kind of fine. I think at this moment, yeah, black's chances are very limited at this moment. So yeah, so actually, even though I decided to block here, still, yeah, I mean, it shouldn't have happened. I might have any chances. If I block here, most likely I have some. That is because it's a much better shape. Even though I lose a bit more points at the top, it's a much better shape, and there might be some potential in the center. And probably black can, if black still builds something big in the center, then black can win this game. But otherwise, yeah, I mean, this block was not only a big mistake, but also if white just keeps his mind very clear and wouldn't be in a time pressure, I'm pretty sure White would be able to drive this game until the end. Okay, so any questions about this game? Checking the chat section. Seems like no more comments about this game, so we can slowly move to the last game, which is relatively famous. I'm not sure. I wouldn't be surprised if it was reviewed on Go with Jeff again as well. But anyway, the game is quite famous, so I wouldn't be surprised. So anyway, I just need to change the name. Mm, Jeff is also one of the teachers of Nordic Godojo, also one of the founders, and he's running a very funny Go channel with Mikko Nevala, a Finnish Fordan player, and it's held every Friday, if I remember, or every second Friday at 6 p.m. And yeah, and they are basically like commenting on European games, sometimes Asian games, and it's really a lot of fun. Maybe someone can put the link here on Miko's channel. I cannot do it now at the moment, but it's, yeah, they are basically trash talking all of the players. I'm one of their targets quite often as well, but of course in a friendly mode. Anyway, a channel which I definitely recommend. It's a really a lot of fun. Yeah, unfortunately I don't have time to watch it recently, so that's why I don't know what was commented there recently. Aha, it's currently on a break. That I didn't know actually. My opponents, aha, because I was often trashed as well. Aha, they will be back in the mid game. Aha. Yeah, so nobody is safe. Like if they are trashing even Stanislav, then anyway, yeah. I mean, actually, speaking about Stanislav, actually, uh, the next game which we will be reviewing, and the last one will be actually the one I played against Stanislav. And Stanislav Frelak, I mean, is also a 7-dan player at the moment. Actually, the highest ranked European amateur player with the rating 2706. But I'm already catching up. I'm 2704 at the moment, so I'm already catching up. Anyway, this game was played like a month ago. It's more than a month ago. It's already 24th of July. Time flies fast. Anyway, then more like 6 or 7 weeks ago, on World Amateur Championship in Vladivostok. And it was a last round game, and actually, it was deciding on very top places. So it was a very intense game. Anyway, actually, it was broadcasting from the side, and since I was black here, I might be questions why did I play my first move in the bottom right corner, but it was broadcasted from the side. So actually, this is not my SGF. This is from the website. So that's why it's looking a bit odd. Anyway, at the beginning it was a peaceful game, then Stanislav started to fight, that's what he likes to do, but it didn't succeed in the bottom right corner. I will browse through it fast because that's not our today's topic. Yeah, then I played maybe a bit softly here, so actually white deleted a lot of from the deficit he got in the bottom right corner, but black also got this invasion. So the situation is probably black is probably very fine. But anyway, this is actually very important moment and very interesting situation. So it actually the game ends up or the game went the way which I kind of like to make it because I have a really lot of points which are sure and cannot be stolen for me anymore, and I will be the one who will be reducing White's huge potential. And even though White's potential looks huge, it's actually not that easy to confirm it as a territory. So anyway, what do we actually need to do? Now it's actually White's turn. So if I remember correctly, Stanislav was already entering to Biomi very soon at this moment, but I'm pretty sure at this moment he had to do a positional judgment and some score counting as well. Probably it will be a bit easier to count black. So let's count black first. So actually, okay, this Shimari will be most likely like this, because white can always push black down with e4, d3, 4, and these kind of moves there. Then white can in theory invade at the bottom, but black has a lot of strong stones around. And also if white wants to build something big in the center, then invasion at the bottom is unthinkable. So let's count it as the black's territory this way. Then black will be Ataried at q7, so the border is only like this. Then it's very likely that white will get s9 in center, so the border is somewhere around here. And then a few points at the top. Yeah, that way. So, and now actually it's not that clear how to count the territory for white, but we can at least count the territory for white, which is kind of sure. So that's this. And something here. Right? So this white we can count for white. Excuse me. So first we count how much does black have at the bottom. So we have all of the second line territory. So like this, it's 37 plus 3 is 40, 43, 7, 50. Then this dumpling is 12, so 62, 63, 64. So black has about 64 points at the bottom. Then we have, including this one, we have like 10 points here, so we have 74. Then we have like 8 points here, 82. So, and we have one prisoner, so probably black can very easily get to 82, 83 or something like that. So let's count white now. So white has 9 points here and 9 points here. Is that correct? Right, so white has maybe around 18 sure points at the moment. I intentionally didn't count this area. So if white has 18 points at this moment plus the comment, that's 24.5. So basically white needs to make 60 more points than black, or nearly 60 more points than black, to make the game even in this area. Let's design how to make 60 points in this area. And we shouldn't forget white still needs to get this. So this is approximately 60 points, right? So is this likely? Do you believe, guys, if white is able to close this? The potential looks big, right? But can white really get that? Yeah, this is actually very good comment. Not with one move, for sure. Yeah, it's true. It's difficult. It's very difficult for white to make such a big potential. Yeah, yeah, fun shave. Very true. Anyway, so there's actually a few things we still need to take a look into account. First of all, this stone at C15 is not really dead. Second of all, there is still this endgame which I mentioned, right? And still also there are these two stones which can be they are a garbage at the moment, but they can be linked up if black wants. So actually white it will be probably not able to build points there. So even in theory, if white plays here and kills the corner, then actually for black it's very likely black can just play here, reinforce the bottom right, add up like few more points. Now black is probably at about 90, and if white closes the border like this as a maximum, black can still come back here. So if white comes back here, black probably destroys the rest of the potential, and actually even if black plays only like this, after this white's move, most likely black wins very easily. No need to try any deep reduction like this one. Even though this move is probably fine, it's still asking for some troubles. Like for example, white can start something creative and try to cut off the stone like this. Yeah, so like this actually it's very easy to win just by closing the huge bottom side. So white can of course directly play here and pretend that the stone at C12, I'm sorry, C15 is dead. But if this stone, I mean, and it's actually possible that even this kind of attachment will not make the stone alive. But if the stone is there, then for example, this invasion can be a very big problem for white as well. Because I can't imagine white will manage to kill C15 and C10 at the same time. Yeah, so it's difficult. And that's how white also behaves. So white plays the maximum move. White plays this one. Which is saying white basically wants to not only reduce black at the bottom side, but basically make the border as big as possible, like something like this, let's say. Because this very big disadvantage of big moyos is that they are getting smaller in the end game. Because not only they are getting smaller, but also the opponent is getting all of the end game in center and he is profiting by himself. And we actually shouldn't forget, then black has still these two stones there. Okay, so actually if white played here and white is trying to close everything, I felt like if I attach here, it's very hard to kill black. Or at least, if nothing else, I will at least manage to get some kind of a core here, for example, which is very light for me. And if I can get like two stones, how I can reduce from the center, it should be very fine. Next lecture by me. I hate moyos. Aha, okay. Well, recently, that's actually quite interesting. I recently built quite a lot of central moyos for some reason. But it's usually because the opponents force me to do that. Because some people believe that they can play against me by taking all of the points from me. And I actually realized, yeah, it's actually happening really often. So I had to learn how to build some moyos as well. But usually I'm not building them like in a huge scale like this. For example, like I normally I transform the let's say some thick positions into territories slowly, step by step, not necessarily to build a lot of points from there. Yeah, so that's a big difference. Okay, so anyway, so I decided to invade here. Yeah, it might look slightly careless, but I felt like it's just impossible to kill anyway. So we continue like this. So in the end, I lived very comfortably like this in this situation. So it was proved out that it was not that hard to live. If I remember correctly, again I had 20 points on the clock, and Stash was it was deeply in Biomi. So again, yeah. Well, yeah. Today is not a lesson about time management. If I remember correctly, Jeff made a lesson on that some weeks ago, right? Yeah, but anyway, once again, it's proving that time management is important. Anyway, so white invades here. So that means white actually can destroy quite a lot of points here. Because before we were counting these points for black, but it's very likely that these 12 points can just disappear very soon. So actually, at the moment, black doesn't have 83 points anymore. So black is down to 71. But on the other hand, black also built something here. So black is probably at 75 at the moment. If we remember correctly, white had 9 points here and 9 points here, right? So white had 18 points in total. And also white had Komi, so 24 and a half. So still, white needs to make like 50 points in this area. So I'm asking a question again. Is white able to build 50 points like this? So anyone believes or nobody believes that this is possible? Yeah. Again, again, I have to appreciate Goday's comment. Yeah, it's in theory possible, but not at the same time when white has to take away from the bottom. And the other comments are very true as well. But anyway, this is a very good explanation. If white want to take the bottom off, then it's impossible to close the middle at the same time. K7, yes, it's open, and B7, yes. B7 is very important. Yeah, it's also true. So anyway, at this moment, black actually doesn't have to do much. Black can even allow white to take off all the bottom and just destroy. Make sure the white will not close the center. So actually, at this moment, my next move is actually, I guess, a move which for many people is hard to swallow, I guess. And I played just here because it's simply no reason to cut or even Hane, because even though Hane is normally the good move, white can attach here. So this move is probably hard to swallow, but once it's enough, win is a win. So that's it. So white has to come back here, protect the cutting point, and then I just decided to play here. And then I just connect this peep as well. So this actually gave black some extra points here in this area, like 6 more or something. Also, black is preparing for the slide here. And also the border between these stones is not really precise yet. So at this moment, white sees he's short on points, so white still so and white still is trying to build a moyo as maximum. But at this moment, actually, if I remember correctly, I entered biome as well. So I made some unnecessary complications by some moves here in the center. But in fact, actually, even if black just plays here, white closes the moyo and black slides here, black wins very comfortably by more than 10 points. So black can even give white all of the center, but since black also like kind of recovered from losing the bottom and took some points on the left side, no way white built 50 points in the center. Like white built like 35 there maybe, but no way 50. So black can actually only win like this. In the game, actually, I did some unnecessary things. I was pretty sure that all of these combinations are kind of working. So in the end, I actually lost much more on the bottom, but also all of the center disappeared. So, but anyway, it was an unnecessary complication which shouldn't happen. So actually, normally we win the games like this. Yeah, so we are simplifying things, and also once we make sure we are building at least some points and we are playing solid moves but big ones for the end game, because we also shouldn't forget that black has still this opportunity at f17, because basically the top left quadrant is a 0 for white after black plays there. Yeah, and black has f7. Yeah, that's what I just said. Yeah. Yeah, so actually, even sometimes like driving the game home, if we are, let's say, counting in a slightly different way than usual, let's say we have a lot of sure points and the opponent has a moyo, then we just need to make sure and we need to know the value, how much can we allow the opponent to build there. So that's actually what I was thinking about already since White played here. Like, how much can I allow White to build there? Like, it was not really necessary to destroy all of the Moyo. It was necessary just to destroy a bit. But yeah, I mean, I was just counting how much actually do I need to destroy. If I need to destroy just a bit, then actually I can even afford to play very shameless moves like this one. This, and this. Yeah, misjudgment is dangerous. Like, of course, today we also had a game. Like at the beginning of this lesson, we had a game which was very close, right? Because that my opponent started to panic maybe a bit too early. Because normally, if we are losing by 1 or 2 points at move 60, it's normally not that big problem. Because it should be because since I'm making mistakes as well, and they are often big, like 1 or 2 points. It shouldn't be that hard. It should be that hard to make the game even somewhere again. But yeah, I mean but in this game, I mean the lead was so big that White had to start doing kind of crazy things. But even these kind of things can be can be like calmed down by moves like this one, for example, which is definitely a move which we normally wouldn't play. Like, this is just a move which is adjusted to this specific situation that Black is leading by double-digit margin at the moment. And whatever White does, there is not much White can do because Black is just super solid everywhere. That's actually another aspect. What's important? Once the opponent doesn't have any target, and I'm not counting these two stones as a target. That's a garbage, of course. Once the opponent doesn't have a target, it's very hard to like do something with the game. Once one of the sides is quite fairly behind. Yeah, okay, I guess we are reaching the end. We are very near that, and yeah, I mean that's all I prepared for today for this lesson. I hope it helped you to understand a bit how should we behave according to the current positional judgment. Of course, in fighting game, it's relatively hard to do that, but once it's a positional judgment game, then and a peaceful game, then actually it's very important. And I think we, of course, don't have to be that precise yet, like that every single point matters. But for example, we should somehow, or at least players who are done players, the ones who want to become done players soon, should be able to count. If you are not in Bioyomi, then at least to have like numbers ending with 0 or 5. Like, you should know it's 60 or 65, 70 or something like that. So I guess that should be very important to practice. And if you can do it in Biomi as well, yeah, then even better for you, I guess. So, and yeah, I was happy to have a lesson here after a while. I was happy to present you this topic because I believe that's my strong part. So that was actually the main reason why did I choose it. Let's check out if there are not any questions. Aha. Some people's lessons were too long. Aha. 80 minutes. Well, actually, I was like making like a schedule for this lesson that I actually realized that my lesson is for around 65 minutes, but I knew that there will be some comments and so on, and we will be making some jokes. So I felt like that 65 minutes content should be approximately enough for 75 minutes. Aha. Yeah, but I can imagine that, for example, lessons with Jeff and his super deep analysis that can be, yeah, that can get long. Yeah, thanks guys for your nice feedback. I'm happy that you liked the lesson. insurance. Yeah. If there are no more questions, I guess that's it. I will have a lesson sometime again. Hopefully, usually I'm busy on the weekend, but this time, luckily, I was not. So, have a nice weekend, everyone, and see you sometime again. And those of you who are participating in Nordic Go Dojo, I'm doing some reviews recently, so maybe you will be lucky or unlucky to be reviewed by me. So, anyway, once again, have a nice weekend and bye bye.